in 2018. Eventual champion Francesco.
What's up, guys?
Thursday and Friday paired with Grace.
Sorry I had to change the time. We had a late dinner because we're getting our air conditioning worked on at the moment, so it kind of had to change a little bit. But yes, losing Ronald Acuna Jr. hurts more than one could imagine. I know he's going to come back stronger than ever, because that's just the guy and the player and all of that. And I know that it's just going to be a struggle not having him, because he's just so dynamic. But he wouldn't want us to quit on this team. They're not going to quit. They're going to grind, and we're going to see what happens in terms of that. But I wanted to come on here and talk about the draft because I'm really, really excited about what the Braves have done. And thanks to Chris Willis and the Talking Chop gang, I have a little bit more better knowledge and understanding of what these guys bring to the table, and I'm really, really impressed in that 19 of 20 prospects are expected to be signed.
CFO of GoGo Food Co., an online food delivery service.
19 or 20 are going to be signed, and that's very impressive considering the NCAA changing the rules with the NCAA allowing college players to get money and things of that nature. I really appreciate and admire the way the Braves have approached the draft over the last few years with Dana Brown and Alex Anthopoulos in the fold. And obviously I'm not going to talk about all the prospects, but the things that we do are, one, drafting college players at the top gives us the ability to sign those guys a little bit under slot, which is just fancy for saying less money. One, they're more developed, a little farther along, have more experience because they're chasing that College World Series berth and championship. Little more polished, and again, they've been through the wars a little bit, so that helps. With our first pick, Ryan Cusick, we dipped into the ACC again. Wake Forest Demon Deacons, just like Jared Schuster, and Jared Schuster is shooting up through our system very, very nicely, so why not do it again? He is the first thing I thought of when I saw Ryan Cusick's makeup and arsenal. I thought of Kyle Muller exactly. Kyle Muller 6'6". Kyle Muller 6'7", but Ryan Cusick 6'6". Got a fastball that tops out at 101. The release point makes his fastball 104 to 105. A feel-like velocity, which is just absolutely insane to think about. And yes, does that project out as more of a reliever or closer at this point? Yeah, and a nasty breaking ball, but he's still working on the changeup and cutter, and those are in development. And obviously, command is the biggest hurdle or development point for Ryan, obviously, but we've seen what Kyle Muller has been able to do and been a fabulous addition to our rotation to this point, and he's just dozing them down. So I really, really expect Ryan Cusick to be a good piece. And frankly, if he ends up a bullpen piece, I'm not really mad at that either, because 101 out of the bullpen in late inning plays, if you know where it's going, and I'm really, really excited for his development possibilities. Also, another key thing for the Braves with this draft, I feel like they did a nice job of what's the word? I think they did a nice job of getting versatility and giving the positions that they can play, and just their makeup as players. They are very, very much farther along, especially the college players. And Spencer Schwellenbach, I think I said that right, our second rounder out of Nebraska, is a two-way player, shortstop, pitcher. He's been compared to Jacob deGrom, so that already piques my interest. 99 on the gun with a great curve and change combo. Really, really like that, and I like that we've gone athletic, super, super athletic. We've been known to draft shortstops that have been pitchers or vice versa. Andrelton Simmons comes to mind, and Spencer Schwellenbach being compared to Jacob deGrom obviously piques your interest. And the fact that we were able to get him in the second round when many scouts and people had Schwellenbach as a first round grade. It could be an epic steal. And another trend that I saw in our draft in terms of pitchers, we went tall and very, very simple, repeatable mechanics, which is very, very important. And having tall, and some of our guys, obviously 6'6". There was one 6'6", 205, I believe, 12th round out of Illinois. Obviously, he'll fill out, and but being that tall, the release point, no matter how fast or whatever you throw, it's gonna help the deception for opposing batters. So I really, really enjoy that about the players that we've drafted at position or pitcher wise. And I think Dylan Spain is my most intriguing. I think he was the 10th pick, and what I like about that is he came to one of their camps or whatever, and just kind of blew him away with a 97 and a devastating slider. Again, I think we, as an organization, went high-powered fastballs, because apparently our organization overall has ranked 18th in fireball fastballs. And as Leo Mazzoni said, fastball down and away is the best pitch in baseball, and having high-powered fastballs, you can get away with more mistakes, and you're more projectable that way. So I really like that we did that in terms of our pitchers for the most part. And our third rounder, Dylan Dodd, is a Matt Moore comp, lefty, has a really good changeup, 90 to 93, does not walk people. And fills up the strike zone. And we've got a lot of guys with plus changeups in our organization. So I really, really like what we've done from that standpoint. From the position player standpoint, that's where I was going with versatility and because a lot of them can play multiple positions, especially the shortstop Malloy that we got out of Georgia Tech. He can play all the infield positions and outfield potentially as well, and he just doesn't strike out. Has more walks to strikeouts. Really, really good. Projectable. He just doesn't strike out, which is a rare quality in baseball these days, and very, very nice. And you can't have enough athletes, and I think we did a nice job of that in the draft as well. Waddle can play second or shorts. He hit 309, 76 hits in 52 games, 43 RBIs, leading Georgia Tech to the ACC Coastal Division title. So there's a lot of numbers that you have to back up these guys as well. Let me make sure that is accurate.
You could if you wanted.
But
fair if I add Paul Larson to our list of things we love about
sure, why not?
We may need a outfielder of some sort, yes. But it also depends on.
So let's see. You got a big hitter. There's lots of horses left. I got Rory left. I got DJ left. Before mentioned, I have Brooks Koepka left as well. So I'm a little confused. I'm kind of leaning Brooks. But
yeah, I mean the draft. I really, really appreciate what we did. Just overall, the athletes, and sticking to the plan and being able to get several high upside college players. Our 7th rounder, AJ Smith-Schwaster, a right-handed pitcher and he was a Texas Tech commit, and for us to be able to keep him in baseball and use a little extra cheddar that we've saved in the top rounds. Very, very astute. Also, the Texas outfielder Tyler Collins has great speed, has all the tools that way. The only player we're not signing is outfielder Tyler Evans from Lakeland High School. He's a Florida commit. And again, I think that's also really impressive given the NCAA's new rules for college athletes to get paid and such. I really appreciate all of that.
But eventually,
still trying to find the seat.
Everything begins anew. And many of us realize a fundamental human need to connect with other like-minded people.
So I obviously for the team as a whole, as we head into the second half, starting Friday against Tampa, we'll see 18 games in 17 days is going to tell us a lot in that 9-game road trip with the Mets, 5 against the Mets and 4 against the Phillies. It's all going to be more difficult without Ronald, but I honestly think that
now available at your local Walmart. Let us help you create a commercial and TV schedule.
I also think that it's also a time for us to all kind of just step up and realize that, nobody expects us to do anything because Ronald is such an amazing player. So let's just go out there and shock the world and do what we can do. And our pitching's been amazing, so hopefully we can just start and stay doing the little things like we started to do until Sunday was a bit of a hangover after after the Acuna injury, striking out 9 consecutive times against Pablo Lopez. But I think we just got to realize that Ronald's not walking through that door right now, and we just got to do it for him and do it. And covering your leadoff hitter, your third place hitter, or your projected and your fourth place hitter is definitely not fair and gonna be hard to do. But they're just gonna keep fighting and keep grinding, and that's what I'm going to do. If Freddie's was playing better even when Arcia wasn't called up. I think Dansby has played. What's up, Hudson? I think Dansby's played better since Arcia got called up, but yeah, I mean Darnell coming back is gonna help, but I think we need some other pieces. Obviously, I'm not sure. I mean, if AA is really serious about it, we do need some offensive punch and help because, like I said, covering your dynamic top 5 leadoff hitter is going to be virtually impossible, but you got to do something. And then power in the outfield, I would love Gallo, but again, the price has got to be right for both sides, and it's got to make sense for it all, and who knows if it will be. But I mean, it's just going to be tough, but you got to still play the game, and baseball a lot of times doesn't make sense. A lot of times it's not going to make sense because, I mean, the Dodgers lost to the Diamondbacks and then won 21-2 and then had to walk off on Sunday. So baseball, there's no real rhyme or reason to any of it, and that's the greatest thing about it, the most frustrating thing, and the maddening thing about it, that you just keep going, and you have to. And I think the thing about the Braves draft is I get back to that. A lot of people, I don't like draft grades considering you haven't even seen the kid play in a professional environment yet, and you're already saying that they got the majority of the Braves draft picks this year and last got C's. Or in 2019 anyway, and Shea Langoliers, Jesse Franklin's killing it in Rome after the first month of the season. He didn't really hit the broadside of a barn or swinging an invisible baseballs. Wow, I can't talk. So now he's got 15 homers. Jared Schuster's killing it. And I believe he's in Rome too. I think he's killing it. Tukey has been awesome in his last 2 starts. Kyle Muller continues to mulling him down. There's Braden Shoemake having some good things. So that's the thing about the draft. I don't like grades, and I don't like until you get them in the professional environment. And Bryce Ball, yeah, good having Bryce Ball. And Schuster, I couldn't remember where he was, but there's just a lot of good things, and adding versatility, depth, and I mean, that's the best part about it. I think versatility and depth, and plus these guys could come up quickly and help us win division titles and hopefully World Series championships, or they could be trade pieces, but there's always good thing to have depth and creativity and versatility in any roster, in any organization, because I think we are lacking the versatility and utility thing things in majors this year, especially with Pablo only being basically bench back because he's not going to be able to play anything other than first base and third base, but you're not going to take Freddie out. And third base is Austin Riley. And yes, pitching, and more pitching. You can never have enough of it because the Braves came into this year 9-10 deep, and we've had injuries and other unspeakable things, and we've had to go to Kyle Muller, Kyle Wright, Bryce Wilson, and I don't necessarily want to give up on any of those guys either because they've only had like probably 70 innings under their belt, and they've given us some good flashes too. So, and they're still young for the most part. So, I definitely want to. Yeah, but you really don't want to sacrifice Riley or the defense at third, putting Pablo. That's just that makes no sense to me. So I mean, it's just. I'm really liking what we did in drafting 20 pitches is certainly a strategy for the Angels, especially since he's a former assistant GM for the Braves. And there's no doubt that the Angels need pitching, but in a practicality standpoint, I don't know how you guys are able to get all those guys innings and monitor their development and things of that nature. So I just really like the way the Braves approach it, and it's great. I just wish they didn't cut it down to 20 rounds. I kind of get it in terms of the financials with COVID and all that stuff, but hopefully that'll give independent leagues more of a look and things of that nature because you didn't settle for ordinary. Because we've done it with the tryout camps and things of that nature. So if you are good at baseball, they're still gonna find you. I just wish they'd give some guys more looks, I guess, and that's just a pet peeve. But I really like I said, Dylan Spain, I think is his name, probably my biggest and most intriguing prospect that we drafted this year. Not out of the top 8 rounds. I think he was in the 10th round. So we're good on that. Frenchie, because he doesn't take any of Chip's crap, and he just kind of floats with it. And I like Tom talking pitching, but the rest of it and all the other stuff is kind of But yeah, Frenchie, just because he's
I was 16 when I moved to
well, if Freddie Freeman wants to negotiate, then AA better set up a meeting because if he walks out the door, I will go personally pack AA's bags, honestly. But I mean, it's going to be interesting because the reality is we're only 4 games back, and honestly, like I said on Sunday, it's a downright miracle that we're only 4 games back with everything that's gone wrong, and replacing 3/8 of your amazing starting lineups is going to be an interesting and unenviable task.
I'm gonna get a good payday, whatever happens. I wish Lummy Charlie. I can't wait to get in for a pint. Clear off out of the way. That's very arrogant.
Yeah, well,
When it comes to talk.
yeah, it's added stress that's not our fault. Not the players' fault. It just there's been a dark cloud or something. Oh, you mean the contract? Yeah, probably that too. Added stress that doesn't need to be happening, or maybe he's just playing fashionably late to the party, I guess. But again, I don't think it would have been an issue, and I think it would have been done had COVID and all those economic hardships for everybody had happened. I don't think it would be, or maybe AA has some other plan. But if he lets him walk out the door, I will personally go pack his bags, like I just said, because Freddie needs to be a Brave. And especially with Ronald probably being out until about May next year. And of course, ACLs are concerning, but luckily we have Chipper, who's been through it a couple of times, to help Ronald through the process if needed. And he's just a insanely athletic human and things of that nature. So, well, I would hope Freddie's contract just be done with and over soon rather than later, because I don't want to talk about it anymore, but I want him in a Braves uniform until he retires, because he just needs to be the next Chipper in terms of that, because with the Marcell Ozuna situation, now the Ronald injury and everything else, we need a stabling force along with Ozzy, and it just needs to happen, and hopefully it does soon rather than later. But again, I don't know. I mean, we can't do it. If I was the GM for the Braves, you can't keep saying who's Ozuna, Joseph, because he's gonna be. I mean, we've got to figure out that. We got to figure out the legal and financial hardships of that.
And so did Peter Alice in between shows. Sat down, bought a bottle of champagne. They just appeared out of nowhere. This game is known for being replete with characters, great storytellers, gentlemen, women.
Yeah, Freddie. Nothing's on Freddie. He's been up and open, but yeah, it would be nice. Likely, what's gonna happen with Ozuna is he'll get placed on the restricted list. That'll open us up to a little bit more money for us to go out and improve our team that way. So that should help. And Arcia playing in left field, he needs to play a little deeper, and hopefully maybe he worked on that a little bit during the All-Star break.
We'll be right back with UFC Top 10.
Maybe he worked on that during the All-Star break, because you can't really have those routine. And I understand why you have him playing deeper, because he's played a total of probably 7 games. Yeah, 7. Yeah, he definitely needs reps. But I didn't, like Frenchie said on Sunday, I believe it was Sunday, that he
immediately when I see peanuts, I see almonds. I'm all in. So I am going to make a sauce.
I didn't realize he had such a long and big hack, but I like it when he makes contact, and he's been a very, very nice, solid ad. But do I think he can hold it down the whole season. Who knows? And again, the 18 games in 17 days is going to determine whether we're buyers or sellers and whether we can do things. Of course, I think you can also buy and sell, and a lot of people have said maybe try to get rid of the last year of Will Smith's contracts, which is 1 year and 1 year and 13 left. Well, obviously, without Ozuna, and I think Guillermo Heredia's kind of reached the 12th clock struck midnight, kind of. He's in like a 1 for 22 slide. So, I mean, maybe trying to think of a less no, we did not pick up Eden, thank God. He is now with the Los Angeles Angels. It was definitely a possibility given Acuña's injury, but he's not been known to be a great clubhouse guy, and that is definitely not what we need right now. And Eden's not the power guy. I'm trying to think of maybe Duvall again. But I don't know that the Marlins would do that in division. Plus, Duvall's dealing with an intercostal. I can't think of. I mean, we could go Waters or Pache. Pache's done pretty well of late with limiting the strikeouts and some good at bats. I don't know if you go Young there. I'm trying to think of some less bigger names than like Bryant and Ketel Marte, although the Diamondbacks said they're not trading Ketel Marte, which may or may not be smart, given he's their best asset with 3 years of control left. I'm really trying to think of less bigger names, but that could help, and I really can't think of anything. Peralta, yeah, maybe.
From retail to healthcare, businesses are going with a
But
using the tools, platform.
But our infield's pretty set, so it would have to be in the outfield. And you got Ender Inciarte, Guillermo Heredia, Arcia, Adhier Adrianza. Yeah, there needs to be something there. And Gallo may be it, but again, I'm not sure the price would be right or whatnot. But it does help that guys like Gallo, Story, Duvall, they are free agents next year, so they would be less expensive. How you say? Kevin Smith actually had some decently good at bats going into the All-Star break. Luke Roy's giving us a little boost of sorts. So there's that. I mean, we're just we really need pitching to stay quality. I mean, we could, if it doesn't work out, and I'm knocking on wood that it does, but you could have the ability to trade Morton Smiley, given their own 1-year deals, and get something back there. But I really want something for the offense, but it's not. Everybody strikes out a lot, but I agree. But I mean, we're on our sixth catcher. We were on our sixth catcher prior to the All-Star break, so you're not going to get a lot of good out of that if you have to go to the well so many times in terms of that. But often, the outfield is just such a dire need right now, and you can't expect to bring a Michael Harris who's 19, Drew Waters only 21. He's got the strikeout bug. Pache, you could try again. Like I said, he's been better at Gwinnett of late. I think I would like to bring up Kipnis because he allows for the versatility. He can play a little bit in the outfield, and that way you're not pigeonholed with Pablo Sandoval just being one bat and that's it. Because he's played center field, he's played some outfield at times. Bullpen help is always a factor. Definitely, Luke Jackson's basically the only guy that you feel relatively okay about in the bullpen. But the trend for our bullpen is the less we go there, the better we'll be. And I think we may have to move on, or I would like us to move on from Josh Tomlin and just use Jesse Chavez as the longer man or the eat up innings in the middle innings, because Josh hasn't really been able to put up the donuts like he has in every situation over the last 3 or 4 years. And I think Jesse Chavez has just been much better at that. So that's been a nice piece to the bullpen. But obviously, any bullpen help would be nice. In a dream world, Chris Bryant and Craig Kimbrell, but that would cost an arm and a leg and a money tree, and we don't really have that. So who knows, to be honest. But doesn't really give me the warm and fuzzies having Orlando Arcia, Guillermo Heredia, and Ejer Adrianza as our outfield at the moment. But Minter's had his moments, but I mean, the entire bullpen's had its moments. And plus, Minter had an 0.83 ERA last year, so you knew it wasn't going to be that stellar. It couldn't sustain, but it does seem like he's the one that is always working through the fire. But the entire bullpen, like I said, has been victimized of that one time or another. So I mean, I don't know. It's very enviable or an unenviable situation for the Braves almost, because you're 4 games back. You really the Jay Flaw move or whatever is probably to put Ian Anderson on the IL as he was getting his shoulder examined for tightness. So they'll probably put him on the IL, just give him an extra 10 days breather wise. So that's probably what that. And you could also see Tukey and Kyle Muller in the fold eventually as well. And I think Tukey could be a nice piece, or even maybe Newcomb, because he's done pretty well with Gwinnett since getting sent down and things of that nature. So yeah, 2 open spots in the 40. So there's something going on. Not exactly sure what, but again, like, we're in a rock and a hard place. Yeah, I'd love Tukey too. We're in a rock and a hard place, being only 4 games back. You still got Ozzie, you still got Freddie, you still Dansby, Riley. Dansby's heating up at the right time. But again, you're never going to replace Acuna, and nobody's going to be able to. And you've still got Charlie Morton. You've still got Drew Smiley pitching well.
Then the fish goes ways.
You still got a quality rotation for the Mueller. You've still got a quality enough rotation to seemingly win a lot of ball games. But you just gotta pray and predict where the offense was gonna come from. And after 2, 3, 4, 5, at this point you're crossing your fingers and hoping. So maybe AA has something sly and slick up his sleeve and we catch fire. But I do want to I do want to say that I hope the team doesn't put extra pressure on themselves because we don't have Acuna. You can't replace Acuna. He's a top 5 player in baseball. It's just virtually impossible. So I hope that they just go out there and try to be them and try to just put together good at-bats and believe in themselves and do it for Ronnie and do it for Darno and do it for the guys that aren't there and just prove everybody wrong and prove all of us wrong and just have a fun second half and see what happens. I mean, that's all we can do. Yes, and I also agree that I hope he just keeps Touki keeps going and keeps pitching his game no matter where he pitches. He's just a great human.
I chose the Spark Cash card from Capital One
through Twitter and
2% cash back on everything I buy. Last year, I redeemed $21,000 in cash back, which I used for equipment to expand production. What's in your
3? Travis Darno won a Silver Slugger too, so yeah, it's been it's been a crusher and a struggle, and I saw that was a good cool gesture by Ozzy, and they are brothers, and I really love it for them. For him to do that for him is incredible and just great to see the brotherhood that baseball is. And I like that the Braves had such a good time at the All-Star game and all that stuff. And they got 2 hits. Freddie with the single and Ozzy with the double to keep the game alive, no less. So that was great to see. It kind of sort of rejuvenated it. I mean, with the Hank Aaron tribute and all of that stuff, that was great. I wish it was in Atlanta, but you can't do anything about that. And hopefully, I know Ozzy didn't make the last out. I said that he got a double before the last out. So yeah, I mean, I just hope Ozzy and Freddie don't put extra pressure on themselves and just continue to play their game and do what they can do. And it's just gonna take everybody and a little more, and we're just gonna have to do the little things a bit more. I know. I know Trey Turner made the last time it was a grounder. But yeah, we're just gonna have to do the little things a little more. We might have to play a little more small ball too. Who knows if we actually will. But there needs to be some sort of an addition. I don't know what kind of addition, again, because I can't think of any that aren't going to cost a lot or that aren't the stars, as it were. So I mean, yeah. But I think
is your home worth less than you are? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now. Call 800-687-0186.
I think it's an interesting position to be in, and it'll be interesting to watch. Hopefully it'll be fun to watch. I'm not going to say it'll be fun. because it might be maddening again. But I'm definitely gonna pull harder and like we always do. But just because all the adversity and all the unforeseen sadness and annoyingness, hopefully we can turn that into W somehow in the second half. But I really, no matter what happens, Freddie Freeman better be an Atlanta Brave after this year. That's all I gotta say. And I think it would almost be easier to take all of this stuff with the injuries and the unfortunateness. If Freddie was already signed.
That was very successful.
The gooiness of the okra. Nice and crisp.
One of the smallest things I think
What's the over-under on throws? I'd say probably 3. The over-under 3. 3 on the hat tosses. I'll go 3 because I mean with the adversity and all the stuff that we've got to overcome, it won't be a shock if we struggle. So maybe over under 3 on the hat tosses. We only had 1 in the first half. Because that one was just, what did we lose on a bases loaded walk? Matzik walked 3 and we only scored 2 runs in 18 innings against the Pirates. Nothing against the Pirates. That was just.
What you did in terms of gameplay is that you took each one of those ingredients and you said, I can make ratatouille with okra, potato bowl with a potato
all my teams frustrate me in some capacities. Panthers, but the Braves, because I'm 162 all the time. So, but again, you can't really replace Ronald as a leadoff hitter, as a complete player. I think Ed here does a serviceable job.
I think this is just a traditional old Midwest Bengali fish fry.
Luke Williams, that could have been a hat toss too. And that was, but I was on a live then, but I was super frustrated on that one because we would have gone over 500 had that out been made, but Will Smith is just so homer prone. But
and you also nailed the okra. All right, thank you very much. Tough whammy ingredients. Chefs will send you we'll call you when we
I'm not gonna get into Cam. That's
they all gave you seafood.
a ship that's kind of sailed a little bit, so I'm gonna stick to the Braves there. But
Great, thank you very much. Let's go ahead and bring the chefs back in, please.
yeah, I mean Ronnie when he gets his ACL surgery and can be in the dugout. I always thought about that. Like if who's more hype, me or Ronald, or me Ronald or Ozzy, more hype if we were in the dugout together. I've always thought about that. I don't know why, but Ronnie is going to be the biggest cheerleader, whether that be from his couch or on the dugout. He might annoy the crap out of Snicker, but that's okay. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be impossible in a way because like I said, you can never replace Ronald, but you just got to do what you got to do and keep grinding.
Bell pepper and celery to make the Cajun cooking's holy trinity.
But
I know that one. It's onion. I use it all the time. I am going to bronze that.
well, I know you do.
$1,000 onion.
But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. The direction, the team in terms of the latest draft picks, I think Cusick, Schwellenbach are going to be up quicker than we think. And I really love what Bryce Elder, Spencer Strider, oh yeah, GH. I forgot GH. But GH is definitely the hype guy. But I'm gonna need him to be like get off his 1 for 23 slide to continue that. But yeah, it's the Yankees and Red Sox. What? Too soon about what?
Realizing he had to get guys involved. He became more of an unselfish, willing passer, distributing the basketball.
Yeah, 1 for 28 is not good. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, no, that's just because he's got a little more pressure on him now without Ronald, but everybody does, and I hope that doesn't happen, but who knows? I hope they just play their game and see what happens. Play their game, see what happens, and shock the world.
Must continue, and so much their defense. Their defense in Game 3 was excellent. Forcing turnovers.
No, I'm just glad it's somebody different. I hope it goes 7 games just because. But I was kind of going for the Bucks. But yeah, it's been. But yeah, and that's pretty much it. I think the NL West. Yeah, I mean, we're underdogs again, like I said, because nobody expects us to do anything with the injuries, and especially without Ronald, which I can agree with in some way, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop watching this team and stop believing in what they can do. It kind of makes me want to cheer for them more because a lot of people don't think we're going to do anything. So being able to prove them wrong would be great. But from second half perspective, I really can't say anything until you kind of see the roster and see how the first couple of games go. And I think the NL West is going to be the most fun. With the Giants doing giant things, which is kind of weird. It's not an even season, but Brandon Crawford, Buster Posey having resurgent seasons and things of that nature. I mentioned Chipper earlier with Ronald Daciel. The San Diego Padres, they're fun. They're amazing. I just don't know if they have enough consistent pitching, but that's, I guess, for every team. But in the Dodgers, injuries and the Trevor Bauer situation and all of that stuff, they've got a little more adversity than they're used to, which is never going to make me sad. I'm trying to think of a team, although I think the Braves could make a run, obviously, and I'm hoping they do, but I'm trying to think of another team that it's kind of in the under the radar, in the weeds a little bit. Maybe the Angels, but again, they don't have much pitching. I guess that's why they drafted 20 in a row. So that's that. But just things about the draft that was fun to cover, and that was fun to talk about and cover. And I really can't wait to see these guys get in the Braves organization and see what they can do, because, like I said, most of the draft picks from 2019 got C's or below, and they have been thriving. Schuster, Elder, Strider, Franklin's on a super heater. If you missed it earlier, he's hit 15 homers. Shea Langoliers even got a C when we drafted him 9th overall in AA's first year, and he's probably could be our number one catcher, if not next year, the year after, and be a big part of our team in 2022 and beyond.
So good to see you guys.
So, and the athletic, switch hitting, versatile infielders and versatile outfielders that we got position player wise are amazing. I love that we focus on pretty much fireball fastballs, big size, and simple mechanics with our pitchers that we drafted. And again, having 19 and 20 probably confirmed signing, that just helps the depth, replenishing the depth. Also can sweeten the pot in trades if you want to go that way, and just gives these guys a chance to develop. And you can't say that our farm system hasn't done a fabulous job of developing and getting them up here and helping us win championships and NL East titles. So I really appreciate what the draft has brought us. And even though we wanted AA to make a splash move, and I think a splash move is needed, especially with the Acuna injury and whatever the case may be, even all the splash moves that we wanted to be made haven't been made, and then a couple of weeks later they've gotten injured or a bad contract for another team. So sometimes it's the moves that you don't make that are the biggest moves. But we'll see, like the Clevenger move for the San Diego Padres, we were linked to that, and then Clevenger got Tommy John. I've seen rumors of the Aaron Judge, which that could be a possibility, but the Yankees are only 4.5 out of the wild card. I say only, but they've got a key stretch, 11 of 13, and I don't know if they would be welcome to that. My brother has been hyping that one up big time. That could be a move, maybe. Who knows? But I think that it's very enjoyable, and it's going to be an interesting second half. I can't really predict anything because there's 2 open spots on the 40, so there's going to be moves. I would assume one of them being Kyle Muller, because you're going to put Ian Anderson on the IL, but who knows what else and who else. But I know one thing, this team is going to fight till the end and make whoever in the NL East earn it. They got to knock us off. Well, that's good if Acuna had the surgery today. They got to knock us off because we're still champions until they tell us otherwise of the NL East. So just keep fighting, just keep clawing, and just keep grinding. And there's always a division that underperforms the expectations, and this year, luckily, it's the NL East, so we'll see what happens. But that's pretty good. I'm an hour talking Braves draft. I didn't cover all the players, but like I said, I'm really excited the strategy and things of that nature was really great in my opinion, and I just really appreciate what we've done over the years with our draft and farm system. So that's great. And the second half is definitely going to be interesting. I know we have Freddie, Ozzy, and Riley and Dansby, and the rest of it. It's just kind of the land of misfit toys. But we'll see what we can accomplish that way. But can't wait till Friday to get this roller coaster. Hopefully it's a more fun roller coaster of a second half started, and just rack up a lot of W's and put some fear into some people and make a run for it. But as always, go Braves. I will talk to you guys next week. I will do a live watch again next week soon. But just gonna watch the finals game and get ready for the Open golf and just have fun and just hoping for a lot of W's in the second half. But as always, go Braves.